Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kervin, and we are here at Legends Bar for WWE Great Balls of Fire viewing party presented by Yup, I Like Wrestling, JR Collectibles, as well as Bayou Rum. And we are here with the one and only Simon Grimm, formerly known as Simon Gotch of the Vaudevillains during his time at NXT and WWE. Simon Gotch, how are you doing today, man?
I am splendid. Thank you for asking.
This is your first Yup, I Like Wrestling party. Thank you for coming. Thank you for us giving you the time to actually interview. My first question is, growing up, who was that wrestler or wrestlers that you pointed at and said, you know what, I want to become a wrestler because of that person?
The odd thing is I actually didn't decide I wanted to be a wrestler until I was 17.
Okay.
I've been watching wrestling since I was about 3 years old. Me and my older brother, we used to watch all the WWF Saturday, Sunday shows on USA. And I'd always been a fan of it, but it was the sort of thing where I didn't really consider it as a career option. Obviously, the Attitude Era picks up. You got guys like Mick Foley coming out, Triple H, The Rock, Undertaker getting even bigger than he was. Just a lot of really talented guys. So wrestling was getting really big. But when I was 17 years old, me and my older brother, we drove down from Northern California to Southern California to Los Angeles to see ECW's Heatwave 2000 pay-per-view. And it was actually Rob Van Dam hitting the Van Terminator that made me want to be a wrestler.
So it was basically, it was a combination of a lot of other people, but Rob Van Dam hitting that move was the finishing touch.
Oh yeah, when I saw the whole audience explode and everybody's cheering, I didn't even make a sound. I just started looking around and I went, this is what I want to do with my life. This is it. This is 17 years old. I just graduated high school. I didn't apply to any colleges. I had no plans. I just was like, I want to be a wrestler.
So you basically went to high school to wrestling. Mm-hmm. Just like a lot of athletes go to high school straight to pro baseball or pro basketball.
Are they allowed to do that anymore? I thought there was a rule against
Actually,
that.
They still are.
Oh, that is impressive. They don't do it often, but I know it's because I remember that was a thing. I can't remember who it was, but there was the first guy, I think, it's probably like 10 years ago now, but he was the first guy actually drafted directly from high school. Like, they could always do it, but it was a basketball player who got pulled, and they were like, because he's like 19, everyone's like, you can't hire a 19-year-old and pay him millions of dollars. You know what's going to happen?
But that's the beauty of wrestling. You can start right after high school. Now, how'd you get started into wrestling?
So I told you I'd seen Heatwave 2000, made me want to be a wrestler. So I started. I remembered that earlier that year I'd seen Beyond the Mat, the Barry Blaustein documentary, and they mentioned a school called All Pro Wrestling, and they said it was in Hayward. I didn't know exactly where Hayward was, but I knew it was in Northern California.
Okay.
So I looked it up. The school was 86 miles from my front door. So I contacted the school, and the following August of 2001, I started training there. I drove 86 miles each way, 3 days a week, for 4 years. And that was pretty much the start of my training. I trained initially there with Mike Modest and Donovan Morgan. Mike was profiled in the film. Okay. They wound up leaving to form their own company that fall, and Daniel Bryan actually came in the winter to take over the training. I trained with him pretty consistently until August of 2002, when I actually had my first match, but Bryan also left to start with New Japan Pro Wrestling. And then I sort of kicked around for a little while, and I wound up going back to training with Mike and Donovan at their company, Pro Wrestling Iron, in 2003. While I was there, I got to work with Mitsuharu Misawa and Yoshinari Ogawa from Pro Wrestling Noah in Japan, also from All Japan Pro Wrestling prior to that. And then after that, when Iron closed, I wound up moving out to the Midwest, and I trained and worked with Harley Race at his promotion for several years. And then that brings up to me going to NXT.
So you trained with Harley Race and Daniel Bryan?
Yes.
So that's a mix of the new school and the old school. Were there any differences in their styles of teaching?
Well, the thing is, wrestling's wrestling. The biggest difference was really not one that I think is as important as people would realize, but Bryan was obviously, when he's working with me, he's 22 years old. He's still a very young man. I think he was only like a year or two older than me at the time.
Okay.
And so he's able to get in the ring and physically show me stuff, whereas Harley, at the point when I was working with him, he was already pushing 70, he was 65 when I got there. So, because he was pushing 70 when I left. So it's one of those things where at 65, taking all the bumps he's taken, all the injuries he's had, Harley's probably broken more bones than he has. So at that point, he physically couldn't do much, but it was more like mentally sort of teaching a lot of the ins and outs of the business and going through matches that was really helpful.
Now, how'd you get noticed by WWE/NXT? How was that process like, and who exactly hired you?
Technically, it was William Regal. What had happened was I'd been an extra several times. I'd been there for, they'd seen me multiple times, and I always got the same thing. You got good size, you're a good worker, you can talk. And I'm like, and I'm going to NXT when? And I never got a date. They never wanted to bring me in for a tryout or anything. So I finally was like, okay. And I was sort of at my wit's end. And I finally asked Regal what I should do. And he said, well, you look like one of those old-timey strongmen, because I had the mustache. He's like, do something like that.
Now, sorry to cut you off, but originally in the independent scene, your gimmick was an old school wrestler by the name of...
I was Ryan Brago, the gentleman bruiser, which actually started, that started because I have a fascination with catch wrestling, and most notably Japanese wrestler Minoru Suzuki. I was a huge fan of his, and I started sort of modeling myself after him, just sort of randomly. I went from, I'd been wearing trunks and kick pads, I went to just short boots. I started wrestling more of a jiu-jitsu, grappling-based style. I'd always done sort of like mat wrestling, but this was more like actual, like competitive-looking wrestling. I shifted to that, and I'd grown the mustache out because, in part, a lot of the catch wrestlers, obviously guys like Farmer Burns, they had mustaches, Boris Malenko, Carl Gotch, a lot of those guys, that was their whole deal. And I was also a big fan of a band called Gogo Bordello. So Eugene Hutz, he's a gypsy punk, he's a Romani from the Ukraine, and he had a big handlebar mustache, and I just randomly went, you know what, I'm going to grow one. Let's see how I look with that. And when Regal saw it, that's what he thought.
Now, William Regal was impressed with all of that. Now, how was the process of him actually hiring you after he actually told you, you know what, here's your tryout, this is the date?
Fun fact, he didn't tell me any of that. He told me, go make a video. I spent a couple months researching stuff. I found out there was a Victorian-era mixed martial art called Bartitsu. There's a British railway engineer who's a big combatives fan. He'd studied boxing, savate, cane fighting, all sorts of stuff, and he actually built the original roadway structure for Japan in the latter part of the 1890s. And while he was over there, he trained in jiu-jitsu for like 5 or 6 years. So when he came back, he actually made the world's first mixed martial art that trained people to box, to wrestle, to do jiu-jitsu, to use stick fighting, and it was meant because Victorian-era London was very dangerous. So I started encompassing parts of that into my character and things like that. So I make this video, I give it to Harley, he goes to WrestleMania. Harley delivers it to a guy named Brian Wynn, Ryan Tran, who's a referee up there in WWE, who's a friend of mine, he worked for Harley. Brian gives it over to Regal. Regal gives it to a guy named Matt Martellaro. Matt's job was basically to screen all the footage that comes into the company. Matt told me, okay, we're going to be coming through KC and St. Louis in July. Be ready by then. We'll take a look at you. That wound up being Raw 1000. I walked around in an old red and white striped, old-timey bathing suit the whole day, and people were like, who is this guy? What's his deal? The next day I did a match with Xavier Woods that the office loved. Triple H actually came out to watch it, and I got told later he doesn't watch matches. So him, all the agents, Finley, Dean Malenko, Arn Anderson, they all loved it. Arn was like, if it was up to me, he'd be on TV tonight.
Wow, that's great praise. He's a Hall of Famer, member of the Four Horsemen.
Oh, that he is. And then I cut some promos with Damian Sandow they really liked, and I think initially they wanted to put me with him. But what this does is they want to get me, okay, we're going to give you a tryout now in October. Okay? So I get the tryout in October. Do the tryout, goes great. Cena sees me there, he really likes me. I get told in December they want to hire me. And then they're like, okay, we're going to put you at the PC when it opens. It's going to be opening in March. So you got 3 months. I'm like, great. Wow. Then they get me an email like, oh yeah, PC's going to be opening in April. Send me an email. PC's going to be opening in May. PC's going to be opening in June. PC's going to be opening in July 1st. PC's going to be opening July 8th. So now we're 18 months.
And for those fans who don't know what PC is, it's the Performance Center in Orlando,
Performance
Florida.
Center in Orlando, Florida, yes. 18 months is the process, and then before I actually start. And a fun fact, they actually messed up my contract, and they almost had to pay me for 6 months before I started.
Really?
I wound up being nice, and I signed when they were like, I legally could have just been like, no, I'm not going to sign this. But they had me sign an addendum to my contract to correct it. So I almost got paid for 6 months extra, but then I didn't.
Now, wrestling fans know you as one half of the Vaudevillains, formerly in the WWE. How did the Vaudevillains get created? Whose idea was it? Break that down for all of us.
Well, Aiden English had been doing a character called the Drama King for a while in NXT, and before that he was working on the Indies a little bit under the name Matt Marquis, which was basically a proto version of the Drama King. He's originally from Chicago. He's legit theater major from I think it's University of Chicago, Columbia, something like that. Something in Chicago, big university in Chicago. Actually, a fun fact for those of you familiar with Ring of Honor or Women of Honor, Scarlett Boudreau from Ring of Honor actually was a student in a class that Aiden English TA'd for. He was the teacher's assistant. He taught her a lot of stuff. So when she came as an extra, it was hilarious because he recognized her and they knew each other. So it was really cool to see that. But he was already doing that, and I was doing obviously the old-timey strongman thing. And initially, they were teaming with Bull Dempsey for a little while. Okay. And what winds up happening is Dusty Rhodes like, yeah, baby, Triple H, if he wants to see you and Aiden English as a tag team. He says this to me in October. I'm like, okay, cool. Nothing happens. December rolls around right before Christmas. Yeah, baby, you see, I think we got to put you with that Aiden English. You know, Triple H really likes that idea. I think we got to make a good tag team. I'm like, okay. Whenever you want to do it, Dusty, I'm free. You know, I got nothing else to do. Then March rolls around. Yeah, baby, we got to take a look at you guys as a tag team. I think Triple H really wants to see that. I'm like, okay. I'm like, when are we doing it? And he goes, let me have you cut a promo with Aiden English in that promo class. All right, I want to see you two do a promo together. I want to see what you guys do. All right. Promo class we're supposed to do that is the last one we're doing right before WrestleMania week. This is WrestleMania in New Orleans, WrestleMania 30. Aiden's girlfriend, now his wife, Shaul Guerrero, gets released. He doesn't show up for promo class because of it.
Which is the daughter of the late great Eddie Guerrero, for those who don't know.
Oh yes, and the niece, or well, I guess technically the cousin of Chavo Guerrero.
Yes, exactly.
Because Chavo is technically Eddie's nephew. All right, so it'd be cousin. Sorry, but yeah. So that happens. So he doesn't even show up for the class. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, oh, this is never gonna happen. Then we come back from because we were off for a week with WrestleMania, and we come back and we get told, yeah, you guys are a team now. You're debuting on TV in 10 days.
Wow, okay.
So we did like 2 matches, I think. One in the PC, and then we did 3. One in the PC with Braun Strowman, the short-lived tag team of Braun Strowman and Chad Gable. We did one on a house show with Wesley Blake and Mojo Rawley, and then we did one on another NXT house show with The Ascension. And then that Wednesday we had our TV debut. We didn't have a name. We had to make up a finisher like the week before, which I just took from the Young Bucks because I knew Matt could do English could do a swanton, so it's like I was doing the Finley roll anyway. Okay, I'll do the Finley roll, you do the swanton like the Young Bucks did. Which was the only thing I stole from the Young Bucks. The pose was just a double bicep pose. Everyone does that. So, which we got accused of stealing from the Young Bucks, and I think we actually took a photo like that one time as a joke, just to mess with people. But so like the day of, we had to come up with the name Vaudevillains. That was English's idea. The entrance and stuff, Triple H worked out with us the day of. The music we picked that day, which is kind of why our music changed so often, because it was like they weren't even settled on doing it. They were just like, okay, we'll just use that for now. We'll figure it out. So it all kind of came together real fast.
Wow, what were some of your favorite moments while being in the WWE or NXT?
Anytime I got in the ring with Chad Gable was always a joy. I loved wrestling.
Really?
He is so phenomenal. The first time I met him, and he'll tell you this, after working with him for about a week, just when he just started at the PC, I told him, you're going to be in the Hall of Fame someday.
Really?
Yeah, I was dead serious.
That's the WWE Hall of Fame.
WWE Hall of Fame. And it's the truth. Gable is one of the best natural athletes I've ever seen. You see very few guys who actually can blend amateur wrestling and professional wrestling as well as he does. Mm-hmm. And he's a lifelong wrestling fan, which helps.
Yeah, exactly.
So often when you get athletes, guys who come from non-wrestling backgrounds, they're not wrestling fans.
Exactly.
They're just there for an easy payday.
In my opinion, that helps a person's career big time if they are a wrestling fan.
Tremendously, because you know what the hardest thing in the world is? When you're trying to tell someone, arm drag me, and they don't know what an arm drag is. Yeah, it's rough.
The struggles you have. Fans know you from the tag team, the Vaudevillains, like I mentioned before. Aiden English, right now, he's in the WWE. He has a singles run. Is Aiden English someone that you would like to wrestle again, have an angle with, or even tag team with in the independent scene, or actually in the WWE once again?
I'd absolutely love to work with him again. English is a really talented guy. I think he's criminally underrated in WWE right now. Mm-hmm. And wherever it is, whether him coming to where I'm at, whether it's Ring of Honor, New Japan, wherever I wind up, or if me going back to WWE, I definitely like to work with him. But tag team, I think probably one of the biggest issues we had that not a lot of people picked up on was you had 2 really strong single stars that were put into a tag team. So I think it kind of diminished both of us and what we were capable of doing, because at the end of the day, the biggest monetary value, the biggest commodity in wrestling is time. So in a tag team, you're cutting time in half and in quarters, and it's just, there's not enough to go around. There never is. We legitimately had a 90-second match once with Breeze Dango in England. So that's the sort of thing where if to work with him again, I would absolutely love to wrestle him again. I think that would be great. I think we could do something.
And that's another thing, because a lot of wrestlers that dream about being wrestlers someday in the WWE, their dream is to end WrestleMania, to finish the show on top with the title, end the show, be the talk of the town the next day. And not a lot of people actually dream about being in a tag team.
Well, tag teams, it's usually, it's weird. It's usually guys who are either brothers that stick in tag teams, or guys who just sort of never
Long-time friends for a long time.
Actually, no, believe it or not, a lot of tag teams hate each other. I'm dead serious about that. You would be shocked. It's funny because I'd done another interview where I just mentioned that English and I weren't like close friends. We're not. We get along well enough, but it's just that sort of thing where, and all these people are like, oh, that's why they failed as a tag team, because all the best tag teams are good friends. Look at the Dudley Boys. And I was like, Devon and Bubba Ray hate each other. Like, they openly admit that.
Yeah.
So it's that weird thing of like, and it's not that they hate each other in the way that, like, say, see what's a good example? Like, it's a good example of two guys that hate each other. Like, for a while, let's say Foley and Flair, the way they used to hate each other.
Okay.
They don't hate each other like that. They hate each other like an old married couple, where they're like, we're stuck together, and like every time you do something stupid, I get screwed. Every time I do something stupid, you get screwed. So it's like, we hate each other, but we have to work together. We kind of like each other, but we hate each other. Like, that's what most long-term tag teams really are like. Me and English were kind of ambivalent towards each other. It was like, hey, you know, it's like, we're working together. Okay, cool. We're not. Okay, cool.
So you guys had a lot of differences and as well as similarities personality-wise.
Yeah. We have very different backgrounds. My background was in professional wrestling and combat sports, MMA, martial arts, things like that. English's background was in drama. You know, English came from a very nice, middle-class, normal family. You know, my mom's a school teacher, my dad's a drug addict. So I probably lived in about a dozen different homes. Like, we moved around that much when I was a kid, to the point where I thought it was weird when someone lived in a house for more than 6 months.
Wow.
That was my upbringing. You know, so there's a lot of stuff that was very different for me than from him. In the same way, you know, he likes a lot of very high art, you know, intelligent films. I like gory splatter B movies. That's my stuff. I'm actually, you can see this. I'm wearing a shirt from pizzapartyprinting.com. This is Repo Man. If you've never seen it, it's a cinematic gem produced by one of the monkeys, starring Emilio Estevez, the Mighty Duck Man himself. But like, we just have sort of different tastes like that. Though we were both very much, we were in Terry Taylor's class in the Performance Center right before we got called up. We both became kind of terrors, where we would just, whatever Terry said, we'd point out something else he said that contradicted him. And we would just, both of us just rapping her like, hey Terry, what about this? Yeah, you said that, didn't you say that? Yeah, you said that, Terry. Yeah, Terry, you said that. We'd do that until one day he actually held us after class and said, guys, I need you to stop doing that during my class. I can't have you disrespecting me in front of everyone else.
Wow.
So we would, okay, Terry, we won't do it anymore. And every once in a while, we'd like slip one in and he'd look at us and be like, oh, good.
Wow. Now, while you were in the WWE, there were a lot of rumors that you had some backstage incidents, one specifically with a Sin Cara.
Oh.
What exactly happened with that incident or the other incidents you had with other wrestlers?
A lot of the incidents were either fictitious or blown out of proportion.
Okay.
The Sin Cara one, like, it's funny because a lot of the information, if you want to call it that, the internet reports were that, like, I said something racist to him and he knocked me out with one punch. No punches were thrown. Jorge and I, Sin Cara, we usually go back and forth taking little digs at each other just for fun. You know, be like, oh, hey, learn how to work. Oh, hey, stop botching everything. You know, that was just what we did. It was having fun. And he said something to me. I don't even remember what he said. But my response was apparently such a stiff shot because I thought it was nothing. I don't say what it is now because I don't have anything against him, and to me, I don't want, you know, some 12-year-old little bastard going like, oh, hey, and putting it on a sign at a show. That's just rude. So I don't ever say what it is, but I said it, and I go back to eating. Like, he's sitting on one end of the table, and Kalisto's next to him, Apollo Crews is next to Kalisto, then I'm over here. And all of a sudden, my face starts hurting, and I stand up and I yell, what the fuck? Because I don't know what's going on. I can't see anything. Like, my vision's blurry, and I'm like trying to figure out what's going on. I'm trying to put it together. It's like, my face hurts. Why do I smell Diet Coke? Why is my shirt wet? Why is Jorge running at me? He starts sprinting around the table and he tries to tackle me, and I just, out of reaction, I grab his tricep and I grab around his head and I pull him into me, and I go, dude, what the fuck? Because I have no idea what's going on. As far as I'm like putting together slowly that I got hit in the face with a Coke can, like my head's clearing. And there's one brief moment, because where it starts flashing in my head, goes, throw him, throw the fucker. Just my brain's like, it goes into combat mode, and I go, no, you will get fired. Do not throw him. Calm him down. Figure out what's going on. Like, reason starts chiming in like this after, you know, the devil on my shoulders telling me, kill him, kill him, kill him. So I'm just like, dude, what the fuck, what the fuck? And I just keep asking him that because I don't know what's going on. Like, as far as I know, we're just joking back and forth, and all of a sudden, you know, I got hit in the face with a Coke can. Which, if you look right here, you can still see. I'm sorry, right here.
Show the camera.
I can never remember which eye it is.
I think it's this one right here.
This one, okay. You see the scar right there. Actually, if I can, I'll show you the photo afterwards. But there was a perfect ring. The bottom of the can hit me like that. It was. I told him afterwards, like, man, you should have played baseball instead of wrestling. It's a hell of a throw.
Now, really quick, Simon, if you can wrestle for any wrestling company anywhere in the world,
New Japan.
And why is that? Really quick.
Best wrestling company in the world. Hands down, the best wrestling you're going to see, the best wrestlers, the best talent is all in New Japan.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, obviously the next choice, like nationally, if we're going just in America, Ring of Honor right there. You have like a lot of the highest quality guys in the U.S. That's where they are. So it's just a question, you know. And fortunately, New Japan and Ring of Honor work together, so that's not really a conflict of interest for me to say they're both great. So that's always a plus.
That's good. Now, where can fans find you, or promoters can find you, so they can book you on upcoming shows?
If you're interested in booking me on upcoming shows, I'm available at bookingsimon@yahoo.com. Don't mock me for having a Yahoo account. It's a wonderful app that's very well integrated. I just made the cameraman laugh really hard with that. He's smiling now. I'm making him smile. You can also find me currently at social media. I can be found at Gotch Style WWE on both Twitter and Instagram. It's a good place to keep up with my latest T-shirts. I'm a big fan. I'm a big T-shirt guy.
Pro Wrestling Tees. What is your link for Pro Wrestling Tees?
ProWrestlingTees.com/Simon Says with an S, not a Z. Simon Says is actually an indie wrestler up here. I didn't realize that.
Oh, really?
But with a Z. But mine is Simon Says because I'm a big Pharaoh Monarch fan, and you know, gotta get the fuck up. So it's there's.
Also, you can find our T-shirts at Pro Wrestling Tees/Yup I Like Wrestling. Here it is.
This is a high quality T-shirt. This is made in America, probably. I don't know. I'm gonna say it is. Let's just say it is. I don't even know.
But we have a white T-shirt, we have a red T-shirt, we have a black T-shirt, just like this. ProWrestlingTees.com/Yup ILW. We also have a Yup I Hate Roman and a Yup I Like Roman T-shirt. Just log on to the website. You can also find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Yup ILW. Find us on our website, YupILikeWrestling.com. You can find all our information there. Simon, thank you so much for giving us a lot of knowledge and letting us know what you're up to and where you want to wrestle and how you came up in pro wrestling. Any last words for the fans? Or any Dusty Rhodes impersonations that you want to do? God rest his soul.
You see, baby, let me tell you something right now. You see, you just gotta put them deals on display. You see, I got all these beautiful ladies up in here right now, my beautiful divas, you know. Yo, you're covering your deals up. I gotta see them deals. Like maybe you wear a fine T-shirt like this covering up them deals, you know. You gotta put them deals on display. I gotta see them. I gotta know what's in there.
Yup, I like wrestling.
Yep, I like wrestling.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this interview. More interviews to come.